Hang in there. Temperatures are supposed to climb up into the balmy 40s this weekend. Going to feel like a tropical island. Delmarva used to get deep freezes like this more often in days gone by.
Yeah, every 2 or 3 years, rivers and bays would freeze over. So how did people handle it? Well, let's ask Mr. Days Gone By himself. Jim Duffy of Secrets of the Eastern Shore is here to share us an ice-cold six-pack of stories from frozen days gone by.
Good
Welcome.
afternoon.
Good to see you, sir.
Thank you for having me back again.
Oh, you brought...
I am ready for our frozen six-pack.
Yes, now we're ready.
There you go.
Okay.
So we're starting way back to the beginning.
Way back. Ice is what gave us this gorgeous and beautiful place to live.
Oh.
25,000 years ago, the Ice Age, not the movie, the real thing. And icebergs were all the way down into Pennsylvania. And then the weather started to change. That's over my head, meteorology, geology kind of thing. And those icebergs melted, and there was a Susquehanna River that ran all the way down the bay. We were just two sides of a river.
Right.
That all flooded, and that's where the Chesapeake Bay came from.
And now we have the Chesapeake.
So be grateful for ice, maybe.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
You know what we forgot to do?
Oh, that was one.
That was one.
That was one. Now let's open the second one.
Skating in Seaford.
Skating in Seaford, one of my favorite wintertime pictures of days gone by. Shows about 15 people all decked out in their winter garb, just skating down High Street right through the middle of downtown Seaford.
Oh my goodness.
And most of the old books and websites you see will say that Seaford did this every single year. They flooded the street in order to do it. But a guy from the Georgetown Historical Society, Jim Bowden, got in touch with me recently and said, no, it's a little disappointing. But that was actually just a once-in-a-lifetime ice storm that covered, and everybody's just out skating through downtown.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They were doing that in New Orleans, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All right. Now this one is a dedicated, and dedicated is not strong enough word, lighthouse keeper.
Yes, his name was John Cornwell. The Hooper Strait Lighthouse out in Hooper Strait on the Chesapeake Bay, late 1800s. So these screw pile lighthouses are Chesapeake Bay lighthouses. Right. They worked great except for when ice was there. And it wasn't so much all the ice gathered around the lighthouse, it was when it started to melt, and then there would be ice flows, and they would go thwack against the side of the lighthouse. And this lighthouse completely toppled over and fell into the water. It was later found 5 miles away. Somehow, as it fell down and was floating, Keeper Cornwell and his assistant managed to get the little supply boat that's attached to the lighthouse. They managed to get it off and put it on the ice. And what they did was they turned it upside down, and they stayed under there, protected from the wind, for 24 hours.
Oh my goodness.
People on the land saw the lighthouse wasn't working. It took them 24 hours to come rescue. In his report, Keeper Cornwell said, when you build a replacement, me and my assistant will be happy to go right back out and keep working despite this ordeal.
We ready for another one?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
This one says dedicated teacher.
Mr. Brady P. Todd. He taught in the one-room school on Elliott's Island in Dorchester County, built in the 1850s, but he lived in Crocherone all the way up and around below Hooper's Island.
Yeah.
And in between Crocherone and Elliott's Island is Fishing Bay, and he used to commute to work by boat, but of course when the ice comes, that's going to be a problem. So he skated across Fishing Bay 5 miles to get to his one-room school and teach his kids.
Oh my goodness.
That's a dedication.
That's a dedication.
Sounds like a little bit of fun, but dedication.
Dedication.
No snow days, I guess.
All right.
All right, here we go. This one is sleigh rides.
Oh gosh, this was a guy named McKenney, Jay McKenney. Somebody collected his memories of living in Oxford, in Talbot County, in the 1920s. And here's what would happen when it got super cold and snowy in Oxford. All these horse-drawn sleighs would come in from the farms on the countryside, 6, 8, 9 of them, and they rolled through town. They all had bells. It was like jingle bells through Oxford, so everybody knew what was about to happen. And they'd all come out of their what are now the beautiful old houses, what were then the beautiful new houses on Morris Street, and they would line the street And they would race all the way in these jingling sleighs. They would race down Morris Street all the way out to where
Oh my.
Doc's is now.
Okay.
All right.
The last of the six.
Last of the six.
The best husband.
Yes, Reverend J.W. Briscoe was a Methodist minister out on Holland Island in the late 1905.
Okay.
And they got iced in out there. No telephone, no telegraph, no boats coming in, everything like that. The entire community that lived out there then, nobody's out there now, but the entire community that lived out there then, they were all iced in, no communication. His wife was not there. She was sick in a hospital in Norfolk.
Oh.
He made it a few days and he couldn't take it anymore. He had to find out if his wife was okay. So he had to walk 6 miles across the ice from Holland Island to the mainland. When he got there, you'd think he'd be done. No, he has to walk 10 more miles across the mainland all through Hooper's Island and everything to get to the Choptank River.
16 miles.
Still more. He's got to rent or borrow or whatever he does, a rowboat, and he rows through the ice on the Choptank River. He finally gets to Cambridge where he's able to board a train. The train takes him to Cape Charles. He takes the ferry across. He gets to Norfolk. His wife is just fine. Oh. But do you know the date that all these stories ran? This got picked up by a wire service, his journey, and the story ran all over the country. And the date of all those stories is February 14th, 1905. Oh. I do not think that man had to buy a Valentine's Day gift for his wife for the rest of his life.
Probably not. Jim Duffy, Secrets of the Shore.
Mr. Days
Eastern
Gone
Shore.
By.
Mr. Days Gone By. Love the hat.